Hi, I'm Ty Knight for TK24 Sports. Now on today's show, we're looking at what's next after the Super League fiasco. What should actually happen to the clubs? What should happen to the owners? And do we just move on now? And I say yes. You ready? Let's go. Actually, before we go, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you do not miss a show every time we upload. And if you're new to the show, welcome. Thank you very much for choosing this channel to watch your sports fix. Here we go. Now, after the Super League fiasco that never happened, it does seem there were actually maybe two major players in this and everyone else just followed suit like fools. Barcelona and Real Madrid and maybe Atletico, but we know La Liga is dead. I've already done a show on this one. If you haven't seen it, then look in the link in the description. It will show you. I said La Liga is dead. And I've known this for time. Everyone's known this for time. Real Madrid are in debt. Barcelona are in debt. Pretty much every team in the Spanish league are in debt. I mean, big debt, because the coverage of it is poor. The structure of La Liga is poor. And basically the Super League is already in La Liga in a case of super teams. Barcelona and Real Madrid, I believe, are the only ones that actually have their own local TV deals. They get more money than anyone else in that league, and they still want more. They wanted more money to pay off their stadium debts, the debts that they've been running up. How is that fair on that league than it would have been on our league? Now, what would have been good is if the 6 teams in the Premier League actually came out and said, no. In a joint statement, we've been approached to do this Super League and we find it unfair and unjust on every other team in Europe trying to compete to win. That would have been more powerful and the Premier League would have had more credibility. The teams would have had more credibility. The owners would have had more credibility, whether we like the owners or not. We would have thought, do you know what? They do get the sport. They do understand about competitiveness. You know what? I'm going to give them more respect. But they didn't. They weren't greedy. They used the lines, we never knew what we were standing up or signing up for. We never understood the T's and C's. We just thought if we don't do it, we're going to get left behind. Well, actually, you knew what was going on. And this is to the owners of the Premier League teams and owners everyone that signed up to. You knew what it was about to do. You thought you was going to get away with it. You thought because we're the biggest 6 and everyone else is the biggest names in Europe, they'll cave in and they'll give us exactly what we want. Well, that kind of works in your line of business where you try and do a hostile takeover. And this is what this was. It was a hostile takeover. But the difference is you're dealing with others. You know, the biggest shareholders is the fans. You may have the ownership of the club, but the biggest shareholders are the fans of the sport. So when you go and do a hostile takeover of a business, it's just a business you're doing a hostile takeover. It doesn't matter about the co-workers and so forth. You know, you can buy the company, you can chuck them out, but you can't chuck the fans out. And this is what these owners failed to understand. They thought it was just like in America where you can go buy a franchise, because that's what they are. And it's embarrassing to even say that they call them a franchise like they're Costco, Starbucks, and McDonald's and Burger King. But we're none of those. Now, the club has been founded. If a club decides to move in this country, it's for the stadium move more than anything else. More than anything else, it's just a stadium move. And that stadium move will still try and be within the vicinity of the area. It's just for a bigger plot, a bigger stadium. That's it. You guys in America will take from one state to another state, and then to another state to another state, just looking for money, 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 money. Football was never built on greed. America has been built on greed and other things that it's not even worth talking about because this is about sports, but mainly about greed. And you took that greed, you brought it to our shores, and you thought you'd get away with it, but you're not. So what happens from here? Should there be a Super League of some format? I would say there should be a better competition than the Champions League and the Europa League. I would like to see a nice bracket league where you take every team that can qualify for Europe. We no longer call it the Champions League and so forth because it should just be the champions of the respective country. And then maybe the runners-up as a consolation prize and go into the second tier. There you go. That's what we call a Champions League, the champions playing champions. And then you say to yourself, I want to be in the Champions League. We have to do more to get into the Champions League. And then at least as a consolation, you get into the second tier. And that second tier still wouldn't be a shoddy second tier, would it now? Because it'll still be prime teams, good quality teams, but then the quality teams are saying we want to be next. And then should you then, maybe, it can then be extended for the season after. I don't know, again, we're going to have to work out the mathematics on this. If you win that competition for the second tier, then you can go into the top tier, maybe. Well, actually, maybe not, because your consolation prize was to actually still be a second runners-up in the biggest league. You still got to win the league to get into the Champions League, whatever you want to call it. But that is what the Champions League should be, right? And then Europa League should be for the consolation prize. And then if you're like finishing third, fourth, or fifth, or whatever, you don't get to play in Europe. That's what it should be. Or maybe if you win a domestic cup, and then you've got the third tier of that. And that still would have great quality teams. So we have to think of other ways to make this happen. But without doing that, and then just trying to ring fence yourself, is not going to happen. So we have to look at what's next going forward from the Super League. What have we learned? We've learned that we've got greedy owners who are in debt and using us as pawns. Then us pawns are stupid enough to take on that without reading the T's and C's. There's been promised a load of money. If you sign up, we're going to make it happen, even though we don't have the infrastructure right now. That's what's embarrassing, and that's what's hurtful. So where do we go from here? We'll keep going, we'll keep fighting, we'll keep talking about this until we can put a plan together to make this right for us, for our entertainment. It's our sports, not their sports. It's our sports, it's their business, but it's our sport. Again, if you're new to the show, make sure you like, subscribe, turn that notification so you do not miss a show every time we upload. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you really soon.